Hi guys, welcome to Yin. Anna and Santana here, back again with True Hot Yoga. We're happy to be here. We'll do 60 minutes of Yin today. So a little bit of a change of pace from that sculpt class on Monday. It'll be a nice little release of our muscles. I want you to have a lot of props for class today. So if that means for you that you're going to go grab like 4 pillows, if that's all you have around, great, go grab a couple pillows. If you have a bolster, make sure to grab that bolster. If you have blocks, same thing, grab them. But I want you to just really be able to relax as best as you can in all these postures. And a lot of times in a Yin class, the best way to do that is to use as many props as possible. So that's kind of my emphasis today. So I want you to grab a bunch of stuff, maybe a blanket, whatever you think might help you, at least maybe 4 different props or so, 3 or 4 different props. So go ahead and do that quick. Besides that, if you haven't yet checked out the Manduka website, check it out. I believe the code is TRUEHOT. If you buy anything from there, they'll donate 25% of that to us. So check it out. They have all sorts of props there. So if you're been wanting a bolster or blocks or a new yoga mat for a while, check it out. They also have cute clothing as well. So I think that's all my intro I'll give today. We'll go ahead and start practice. So I already have my props set up for the first pose. We'll start in just kind of like a constructive rest pose. So I have 2 pillows here. If you have a bolster, it will be the same thing. Just set your bolster up. And then I have one of my blocks just sitting right behind about the second height of that block, and I'm just letting my pillows rest up against that block so that I have a little ramp for my back. So set yourself up with a ramp. If it's just not working, just do flat pillows on top of one another. That's fine, but try to find that ramp if you can. I'm just going to sit kind of close, pretty close to it, and lie down on my ramp. So that's what we're working to do. Just simply lie back onto our little ramp. My legs are going to be long for this. You can bring feet all the way to touch. You can bring feet a little bit wider. That's comfortable for me. And then we'll just kind of let our arms open up to the sides, perhaps palms face up, just to invite in a little bit of relaxation. Eyes can close. Get comfortable here. If you don't feel comfortable, get up and move your head around, your shoulders around, move your props. If this isn't working for you, you can always go completely flat on your back. You listen to your body, you know what you need. And just sort of allow yourself to slow down. We'll be holding poses a little longer than a usual class, a usual flow class. Generally in Yin, you hold poses for about 3 to 8 minutes. And we're working to get all the way into our fascia. Really trying to create almost a new normal in our bodies, finding a position that feels comfortable but maybe a little challenging, and trying to stay for that length of time. Now we're all different, and maybe some of us have taken a lot of Yin classes. Maybe this is your first Yin class. So if you can't stay the full amount of time, you don't have to. You can come out. And if you can, great. Like I mentioned about the props at the beginning of practice, it's important that you have a lot of props for this class because I want you to get as comfortable as possible with Yin, We want to find a posture where we can let go of as much muscle tension as we possibly can so that we can really just let gravity take over and so that we can fully relax into each pose. We can fully let go in each position. Perhaps noticing your breath, but there is no specific breath that you have to have throughout a yin class, so find what's comfortable for you. Let your face relax, let your jaw unclench, unfurl your eyebrows. Just notice what you're noticing. We'll take just a couple last rounds of breath in this pose. So I want you to start to kind of wake yourself up, but nice and slowly. So maybe you begin to rock your head side to side. Wiggle fingers and toes. Roll wrists and ankles. And we're going to work into a twist in a similar position. So just use your forearms to help to pull yourself up to more of a seated position. And we're going to keep our props where they are. We'll use those. Go ahead and kind of turn to the right, like a half turn. And a couple options for your legs. This is similar to a deer pose, but kind of like an inclined deer pose. If you want to just stack your knees, some people find that's comfortable. If you want to bring that top left knee a little bit behind, that might give you a little bit more of a stretch. So you decide, but my right hip is close up to my pillows. I'm just going to turn my body to my pillows, so take a turn to the right, hands framing them, and then just start to bring your chest down onto your props, just like that. So I have my right facial cheek on the mat. That feels comfortable for me. If you want your left facial cheek, that's fine. You're welcome to see how that feels in your body. And we'll stay here for a couple minutes. And again, make sure that it feels good to you. So if you need to get up and reset at any point, please do so. If you need to resituate your head or your leg, as if you want a blanket underneath your hip or your knees or your feet, please do so. But once you get into the position that you feel like is okay, close your eyes and I want you to work to find stillness. So we're working for physical stillness, and that's difficult for a lot of us, and that means trying not to fidget. Even maybe not itching that itch that you're noticing, just kind of letting it be, not fixing your clothing, not getting your hair out of your face, just kind of letting it be and being okay with that. So finding that physical stillness. And then maybe after we find that physical stillness, it'll help to work into a little bit of mental calm, mental stillness, whatever that means to you. Perhaps you're just noticing your mind kind of slowing down. Or maybe you're a little bit more aware of your thoughts and you begin to watch them. If you are noticing your thoughts, if you're suddenly very aware of them, notice them as they come and watch them as they leave, almost like a stream, and your thoughts are leaves just floating down the stream, and you're noticing them as they come and as they go. About 2 more rounds of breath on this side. If you have your left cheek on the mat, I want you to bring your right cheek back to the mat or bolster or pillow. And then use your hands to gently press into the mat and lift yourself up to a seated position, and just take a moment in that seated position. Come back to that length in your spine. You can keep your eyes closed and just notice how you're feeling. And then we're going to work to go ahead and do this on the other side. So you can bring your legs long out in front of you. And if you'd like to just grab your props and scoot them to the left, you can, or you can turn your body the other direction. So I'm just going to do this so that you can see me. My block is propping up my pillows so that I have a ramp. My left hip is against my props. I'm going to bend my knees. Either stack them or the right behind the left slightly. Turn left towards your props and gently bring your chest down. My left cheek is on the mat just because that's what feels comfortable for me. But if you prefer to bring your right cheek on the mat for a more intense twist, you're welcome to do that. Reset right now as many times as you need to here at the beginning. Make sure that you're situated. Make sure that it feels good. You have length in your spine. You feel that twist through your midsection. Your chest is grounded. You can totally relax your head. And your legs feel okay. Once you've gotten situated, close your eyes. And come back to that stillness. Start with physical. And it might help by just relaxing physically. So I just noticed that my shoulder was kind of tense. I'm going to let that be soft. I'm going to relax my belly. My legs are completely soft and heavy, and my upper body is heavy as well. I'm releasing my tongue from the roof of my mouth and letting my eyelids close. And once you've found that, you might notice little things, little fidgets that you'd like to do. Try to resist. Just notice that little scratch as it comes. Notice what you'd like to do and try to resist it. You can continue to focus on that body stillness. You can start to move on to mental when you're ready. Feel free to circle back to your breath often as you'd like. Just noticing and feeling and hearing your own breath. It's a good way to clear the mind. Last couple breaths right here. If your right cheek is on the mat, start to bring your left cheek back to it. And then pressing into your hands, you're going to gently lift your torso back up. Coming up to an easy seated position, just taking a moment in your seat, wherever your legs feel comfortable is fine. Noticing what you notice. So we'll go into another stretch next, and it's going to be a wide leg, bent knee, forward fold. So it's a lot of different things. This is a pose where I want you to have a bunch of props. So great if you have blocks. Bring those nearby, but make sure you have like pretty much all of your props close to you at this moment. what I'm going to do is I want you to put something underneath your knees. So you see Santana put blocks under knees. I'm going to do the same thing. If you don't have blocks, you can put a towel, a blanket rolled up under your knee, or pillows as well. That's totally fine. I just want your knees to stay bent. Your legs are wide as feels comfortable for you. Doesn't have to be a huge stretch right now. And then if you have a bolster, I want you to have that bolster just like we did before with the ramp it in front of you, like you see Santana doing, holding it with his hands, and bring your forehead down to your bolster. So your bolster's nice and high, right? So that's going to help you stay upright. If you don't have anything like that, stack something on top of one another so that you can hinge forward. For me, I know that I'm a little bit more flexible, so I don't need much, but I'm still going to grab 2 pillows. I know my pillows smush down, so that should be okay for me, but I'm going to start by just bringing my hands to the mat and then hinging forward from there. So I want you to remain long through your spine rather than rounding through your spine. So try to keep a long spine and just hinge from your hips forward. Situating your props wherever feels comfortable for you, and then maybe bringing one facial cheek. If you're like me, you can bring one facial cheek down if that feels good, or you can bring forehead if you're doing something like Santana. But try to keep that long spine, keep that bend in your knees. That's what I'd like you to focus on. Situate now, these first minute of the pose. Situate, find yourself relatively comfortable, at ease. The most important thing is that I want you to relax as best as you can here. I know this is not an easy pose to relax in. That's why we have a ton of props, right? If you need to get up and go grab another prop, do it now, because we have a lot of time in this pose. And I want you to feel at ease. We're about halfway through this hold. If you have one cheek down, you can switch to the other cheek. If you're on your forehead, you can just stay. Relax your feet while you're here. We're coming into that last minute. I want you to take a moment to scan your body for any tension and let it go. Use your breath to do so. As you exhale, feel a little bit of that tension release. Send your inhale to that place in your body. Exhale, let it go. Find 2 more rounds of breath right here. As you finish with that final breath, go ahead and press down and slowly lift your chest up so that you're seated upright. I'm going to grab what's in front of me, my pillows or your bolster, and set it off to the side. And then I'm going to grab underneath my knees with my hands and use my hands to pull them in. Keep a little bit of a bend. Keep a big bend, I suppose. Keep your feet relatively wide. Bring your hands behind you and just let your knees sway side to side. Big windshield wiper-like movement. Good. And then when you're finished, find stillness and just kind of press your chest up to the ceiling. You can let your head fall back if that feels okay, opening up through your chest. We've done a lot of pulling forward, rounding forward, so let's open up for a second. And as you're ready, come back to neutral, no rush. We're going to work into a little bit of a back bend. I think we did it in the last Ian class. I don't totally remember, but we'll go into a Sphinx pose. So blocks, just make sure they're somewhat close by, but set them off to the side. You're probably going to want your bolster or your pillows for this Sphinx pose. So come lengthwise on your mat, flip to your tummy. What I like to do is pull my pillows right underneath my rib cage and then bring my forearms down in front of me. You can do this without the pillow or bolster underneath your rib cage and just bring your forearms right in front of you so that you have elbows underneath shoulders. So you choose what feels best for you. Before we move on, bring attention to your back half and relax your glutes. They always want to tense up here. Relax them, let them go. Let your legs be heavy. And I'll give you 2 options while you're here. One option is to bring something in front of you, whether you have a block or not, and bring your forehead down to it, so that your head can just relax. That feels nice. The other option I'll give is to find some neck rolls. So if you'd like to go into that, we're just going to start by bringing chin to chest. And you can find this on your own if you'd like, or you can follow along with me. I don't care which one. So lengthening the muscles in the back of your neck, that heavy head. And then let's just start to guide right ear towards right shoulder. And we'll feel a nice stretch on that left side of our neck. And then we'll come back to chin to chest, back to center, nice heavy head. And then we'll start to bring left ear towards left shoulder. Feeling that stretch on right side. And then then from here, you can choose if you'd like to start making circles all the way around. Now you're careful going back, but just going all the way around nice and slowly. A few times in this direction, and you might pause if you notice anything that feels kind of sticky, kind of sore, and then change directions whenever you're ready to do that. We have the last few moments right here, and then we're going to move on. And we're going to move on to some upper body, some shoulder stretches. So go ahead and kind of lift up so that you can scoot your pillows or your bolster off to the side for now. We don't need them for now. But you are probably going to want either a pillow if that's all you've got, or a block. That's the word I'm looking for. So what we're going to start off with is like you're in a Sphinx pose, like you're setting up for a Sphinx pose. Your forearms are on the mat right in front of you, parallel to one another. And then I want you to bring your right hand to your left elbow. So kind of making that 90-degree shape. Start to thread your right arm underneath your chest. So just simply threading the needle, but we're lying on our belly. So this is one way that you can do this pose, and you can stay just like this. If you are like this, put your head on that prop in front of you so that you're not cranking your neck. If you'd like to feel a little bit more, what I want you to do is lift up just a little bit and reach your left arm to the left as well, so that you have both arms threading at the same time. Left is in front of right. Then the hard part is grabbing your block. Push that block a little closer, and you're going to bring your forehead down to the block. So you choose whichever one you'd like, and I'll keep track of time. And so we're just relaxing our lower half once again, and we're letting gravity pull us down. And that weight of our body is stretching out our shoulders. We have about a minute left. And maybe you notice that your hands or your right hand is getting a little tingly. And that's pretty normal in this pose, as long as it doesn't hurt. See if you can stay these last few moments. And it's because we're creating almost like a tourniquet effect in this pose. So right now it might feel a little uncomfortable, and in a moment when we release, hopefully you get that nice big release, the blood rushing back into your arm. So take the last breath right here. And then gently lift up your head. Release your arms and just bring your arms long out in front of you here. You can bring a cheek or your forehead to the mat. Either way, just let those arms go long in front of you. If you want to twiddle fingers or roll wrists, you can. Otherwise, just relax here and feel that blood rushing back into your arms. That big release. And then we'll just go into that on the other side. So go ahead and lift back up to set up your Sphinx pose. We're going to bring left hand to right elbow this time. And you're going to reach left arm over to the left. And maybe you stay just like this. Your left palm is facing up. And your left cheek comes to the mat. Otherwise, you're going to lift up just a little bit. Bring your right arm towards the left, palms face up, and reach them both to opposite sides so you're threading both at the same time. So again, you choose. Bring that prop in front of you so that your head has somewhere to rest on. Once you get here, just release, let gravity take over. Completely relax into it. We have a little less than a minute to go. And then we'll finish with that last breath. And gently lift up your head. Release your arms. Again, we'll just bring those arms long out in front of us. Feeling that big release. And as you're ready, gently pressing up back to your Sphinx pose. And we'll press all the way up to our tabletop. Let's take a little bit of time in our tabletop here to situate ourselves. If you'd like to go into a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale as your belly drops. Gaze is sort of lifted, and then exhale as you tuck your chin and round through your spine, finding that breath on your own here, really tilting your pelvis in either direction and making this nice and dramatic. I'm going to give you the option to stay in your tabletop and continue to find movement there. If you feel like you'd like to go into a down dog, quick option to do so. Spread fingers wide, curl toes, and lift your hips high into the air. If you are in your down dog, pedal your feet. Bend your knees one at a time, press your chest back. Just see how this first down dog of our practice together feels. One more option in that down dog. If you'd like to join, cross your right ankle behind your left. Bend your left knee really big and press your chest back towards your thighs, feeling that stretch in the right leg. Nice and heavy head here. Maybe shake it yes and no. And as you're ready, we'll switch to the other side. So uncross, and then I'll cross left behind right. I'm going to bend my right knee really big, press my chest back towards my thighs, and relax my head. Another full breath. And as you're finished, uncross your ankles. We'll all go ahead and come back down to our tabletop position. And we're going to move into a side body stretch. So this is what I call supported banana. I don't know if that's the name, doesn't matter. But what you're going to need for this is just some pillows or a bolster. So I'm going to grab both of my pillows. You can decide how many you want. You might want more or less. Put them down to the mat in front of you. Go ahead and sit on your right hip or your left. Just make sure on the next side you do the other. Sit up right up to your props. Your legs, I like to just kind of stack mine and keep them a little bit bent. You can decide what feels best for you in a second. And I'm just going to lie down on my side onto my pillows here. So I'm just sliding on down. Once I get here, my head comes to my tricep. You can stay just like this with left arm down left side. If you want a little bit more, reach that left arm up and over as well, and kind of bring your palms towards one another, whatever feels good for you. So if this feels uncomfortable underneath your right rib cage, please situate it. If you feel like you could use more, just stack more props. If you feel like you need less, get rid of something. Maybe just one pillow feels better for you today. But the idea is adding that arch into the right side of our body here. Just physically doing it with props. Make sure that your right hip feels okay, that your legs feel all right. You're long through your upper body is the point. And we won't be here too long. Close your eyes if you haven't yet. Take about 2 more rounds of breath. And as you're ready, bring your left arm down your left side. Lift your head off of your tricep. And use your right hand to press yourself back up to a seated position. We'll do that on the other side. We'll just go directly there. So come to your other hip, left if you did right. Stack your legs or whatever feels comfy for you. Just situate yourself. Scoot your props nice and close up to your hip. Reach left arm long out in front of you. Let your head rest on your tricep, bicep. Maybe that right arm reaches up and over. Resituate your legs if you need to. Move around your hips so that you feel comfortable. Lengthen through that upper body. Feel that gentle lift of that left side body, creating that gentle arch. And you're just melting into it. About 2 more rounds of breath. And as you finish with that final breath, right arm can come down right side if it wasn't already. Lift your head up. Left hand presses you back up to your seat just to come to lie on your back quick. So set your props off to the side. Come to lie on your back as you're ready. Just flat on your back to begin with. I want you to feel just whatever you're feeling at the moment, relaxing your shoulders, your head, your backside. Your body heavy and soft. We'll finish with one more calming pose here before Shavasana. We'll do a legs up the wall, supported legs up the wall if you'd like. So bend your knees And you can either just simply lift your feet into the air, that would be a normal legs up the wall. If you'd like it to be supported, grab a blanket, a pillow, a block, whatever you've got, and slide it underneath your back, your low back, your sacrum. And then lift your legs into the air. If you happen to be next to a wall, you can certainly use that wall. Otherwise, just lifting your legs into the air. And this is a relaxed legs up the wall, right? So I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to keep my knees bent so that I'm not straining. I'm going to relax my feet. And maybe I'll add a little bit of ankle rolls. Getting out some snap, crackle, pops. Make sure my shoulders are grounded. And if you'd like, you can reach your arms up into the air as well and just kind of let them lazily dangle, perhaps rolling wrists. Just keeping it simple, keeping it easy. Letting that blood come down to your vital organs. This is a great pose to do before bed. It feels great. It's relaxing. It's calming physically and mentally. And it's also really good for low back pain. If you ever suffer from low back pain, laying in your legs up the wall can help to release that feeling, just that gentle pressure in your low back. Just a couple more moments here. As you're ready, we're going to start to bend our knees and gently bring our feet back down to the mat in front of us. Now, if you were using a prop, I want you to lift your hips up and slide your pillows or your bolster, whatever, and down towards your knees. And we're going to find Shavasana. And I like a little support under my knees. So I just have my pillows under there. You could put 2 blocks under, one under each knee or whatever you've got. Maybe pick up your shoulders and reset them down on the mat. Close your eyes. Let your feet and your knees fall open and relax into Shavasana. Yogis, thank you for joining us for 60 minutes of yin. Again, I'm Anna, and music is brought to you by Santana. It's been lovely. I hope you come back to join us soon. Until next time, the light and the love in me sees and honors the light and the love in each of you. Namaste.